celebration of our Ghanaian. The detailed appreciation. TV and City. March 2023 as we bring you this.
What promises to be yet another exciting episode of the Heritage Music Series here on City TV. This is part of our Heritage Month celebration right here on your favorite channel. My name is Nana Tufo Boateng, and what we've been doing so far is the evolution. Takeaways all the way from the 70s. We've done the 80s. This time we're getting close to the Y2K era. This is the pre-Y2K era. I'm talking about the 90s, the year 1990 and counting. So stay with us if you're ready to go on this magical musical ride with me. We'll be right back with
Ago.
Welcome back. This is the Heritage Music Series as part of a Heritage Month here on City TV. Before we go into the business of the day, I'll have you know that the amazing drinks we're enjoying on the set is kind courtesy Ramdes. The sweet scented candles we're smelling all throughout the show is also by Divine Citronella Candles, and they're making the show beautiful and very, very exciting for us. We're taking you on a journey of music and its evolution. Original, authentic, indigenous Ghanaian music. We've seen that of the 80s. We've done that of the 70s. This right here is for the 90s. Now, for anyone close to or around my age, there are some names you can't get wrong when it comes to music in the 90s. Let me quickly introduce you to Dr. Benjamin Boateng, who is here with me, as we have been doing in our previous episodes, to walk you through the music, the instrumentation, the composition, and of course, a breakdown of the lyrics in there. Hello, Doc. Welcome.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure to see you. Always good to have you.
Always a pleasure to serve.
Great stuff, great stuff. And of course, we don't do this alone. The ever amazing, the ever vocal, the ever wonderful Inchin Band is in the building one more time.
Thank you.
All right. So we talk about music in the 90s, high life music and its evolution. And of course, top of the list is that man who perhaps has had more hairstyles than even the female artist in the industry. I'm talking about the one and only Charles Kojo Antwi, popularly known as Daddy Lumba. Doc, I mean, Daddy Lumba came into the scene with so much steam, so much speed, so much versatility, and of course his dexterity when it comes to his microphone business. It's just wonderful listening and watching him. He had his controversies as well. Yeah. Tell us about Lumba's journey.
Lumba, I would say, bridged the 80s and the 90s with his style of music.
Right.
You know, music evolving from the 70s now inculcated a lot of foreign elements, including styles, reggae music, funky, everything coming together to form the music of the 70s. Lumba took it a notch higher.
Right.
And as usual, the idea of the discotheque was still there, so that the emphasis on bass drum, on bass guitar was still very, very much in the music of the 90s. One other thing,
probably because their interest was in dance music.
Dance
more.
music, yes. One other interesting thing about the music of the 90s is the storytelling. It can give you a theme, that's the title of the song, and then tell a story that fits into that title.
Okay, so the story of the song will flow from the title of the song.
That's right. So when you listen to music of the 90s, you get rhythms to dance with, you get a storyline to follow, and of course the introduction of all these synthesizers and all help to give the music of the 90s and the identity. Very, very importantly, you know, the evolution of hip life started, where Highlife was fused with
rap music,
and all these things. This was the beginning of that era was the beginning of such collaboration between rap music and then Highlife music. So to say just a few, Daddy Lumba championed that cause very much with his style of music, like you are saying, his hairstyle, you could never miss. He also appealed to the ladies because of his messages, the love songs, but this time you have to really dance to it and that kind of thing, dancing and still taking advice from his songs.
It's interesting you mentioned that he appealed to the ladies because of his message. Because I was coming to that, he seemed to lean more towards love songs.
Yes.
Is it that around that time this was a great selling point for him?
Yeah, most of the audience at that time wanted to hear something, and you realize that Daddy Lumba at times will even quote his songs, like I've been on her, for instance. Doesn't go straight to the point.
So he's saying one thing, but he means
something else. And ladies like such things, at least addressing their issues for them. Lumba was some music, and they loved him for that.
But is it that coming from the 70s to the 80s to the 90s, the people were getting tired of the advice in music and wanted to hear more of the love, just something to dance with?
Yeah, they were not that tired, but the tastes of men started changing. People started getting more taste. So yes, the Highlife music of the 70s was still being played, but now they wanted something else to add.
Something more refreshing to add to it.
So that the coming to the scene of Daddy Lumba brought them some refreshing. They had something new. And then could link it to something which was old, something which was authentically Ghanaian, and that was what Lumba did at that time.
Right. Now, aside coding his music or the lyrics in his music, as you mentioned, so he's singing one thing, but he actually means another. He sings his words in a way that you need a third ear to be able to catch exactly what he says. How did this help in growing his appeal among the people?
It's a brand that he created, and of course what you are saying is very true, but currently there are some songs that Lumba has sung and I struggle to get some of the words. You try to put your mind to it and it's not what you are hearing, but I don't know, he turns the tongue in a way that quotes some of the messages that he gives. So I think that he did that to create an identity. Pick everything straight from the beginning to the end until you listen and listen again, and that is something that helps the audience or the listener to grasp the music. Once it is being repetitive in you, then you cannot do away with it. It becomes part of you.
Right. Doc, let me stop you here because I see my bandsmen itching to dish us something from Daddy Lumba. Why don't we do Sikasem by the legend Charles Kojo Antwi, aka Daddy Lumba? I told you can't go wrong with Daddy Lumba. And you see the thing with Daddy Lumba, he has a song for every occasion.
Yeah.
I mean, you won't go to a funeral and not hear Adakatia.
Yeah.
Yeah, you won't go to a party and not hear Sikasem.
Yeah.
And you won't go to a wedding and not hear Abenwaha.
Yes.
That's Daddy Lumba for you.
Right.
But he didn't restrict himself to a particular genre, did he?
No, he didn't. He didn't. He tried to cut across every occasion so that like the African life loves to celebrate events of the life cycle.
Yeah.
And so events of childbirth, marriage, funerals, weddings, and all those things. Daddy Lumba tried to compose songs that could fit such occasions so that he wasn't limited. Like, and as you said, you could play Lumba on all occasions and you will never get wrong because he has a song for every other occasion which the consumers try to take advantage of.
Right, and just as we had seen in the 80s with Charles Amoa and the like, Lumba was also a blogger.
Yes.
So, most of his stuff was mastered not in Ghana. How did that influence the quality of sound he produced at the time?
Yeah, most of the songs were mastered in Germany at that time, so you could see the quality
with Bodo Steiger,
and yes, so you could find some similarities in terms of outputs between the music of George Jakun, Charles Amoa, all those people. Yeah. So the recording is done here and then taken back to Germany for them to master it. And as I said, they wanted a certain kind of effect when the music comes out, with the emphasis on drums and bass guitars, sometimes the bass guitar taking up percussive roles and all those things. So it's mastering the songs over there helped really, but that will be another conversation for another time because cultural Ghanaian perception in the mix.
So it gave us something, but also took away something.
So with the arrival of people like Francis Kwachi and the rest, who he worked for a long time at the Ghana Films. In those days, it was called Ghana Films, and so he blended Ghanaian culture. For instance, the Prinsua and all those, they have a way with sound. But if you are not in the culture, you wouldn't know how it sounds. And if you capture it in your music, and somebody tries to mix it up for you, then he mixes it like something
and make light of it. Yeah,
that's right. It takes a lot of things
heavier
out of
resounding as it's actually supposed.
It takes a lot of things out of it.
All right. Okay, so we're going to continue and move into some other artists for the 90s. We're looking at one person that treated our ears, our events, our shows, even our homes. He found his way into our homes with his wonderful composition and, of course, the dexterity with which he composed his songs. I'm talking about Amakye Dede.
Right.
I mean, you mention his name and it will bring smiles to your face because instantly you begin to have the flashbacks as to the various songs he performed and the beauty of it. So many songs to his credit. I don't know, it's like he never got tired.
Yes, he never got tired. He also started as an apprentice with other senior, I think Ampofaji and the rest were some of his mentors. And so he took after them and blended used their style and created his own style. And as I said, around that time, there was this fusion of other musical genres. So you could hear Amakye Dede doing a lot of reggae songs, but with the local language, doing some Highlife reggae, we call it Highlife reggae. And then he carved a niche for himself in that area. So he never got tired of messages. And as I said, the music of the 90s told stories. Songs and a lot of advices as well. And there's one particular one, of him, and the person is not coming. He goes, despite the calls and everything he receives, that the person is just about to come, but it doesn't. So it was a situation that people went through in those days, so that you expect your expectations are not met when you really wanted something. So Amakye Dede captured some of these things in his music.
All right, Doc, let's have Enchinchim give us that rendition of what perhaps will be Amakye Dede's only English song. I'm talking about Iron Boy by Amakye Dede. When we come back after the performance, we'll bring the Nankroma in because he has had a stint with Amakye Dede, and then we'll get up close and personal with him as well. But between time, this is Iron Boy, originally performed by Amakye Dede and now being served to you by the Inchinchim Band. Absolutely beautiful. And then yeah, young boy, why metal boy, carpenter boy, which boy? But that's the beauty of music. I mean, there's always a message in there for everyone. There's the rhythm to vibe with, there's the melody to dance to, and of course, proper instrumentation. This is what we call music. And one person who has dealt with and still deals with proper music is Nana Nkrumah. Nana Nkrumah, join us. I mean, yeah, this is a fountain of music wisdom that we all need to drink from. And so I'm always excited when I have to bring him onto the show and get to know more about the production, of course, and the processing of the music. Nana, what we just listened to was Iron Boy by Amakye Dede. What's your knowledge of this particular song? And of course, your relationship with Amakye.
Yeah, this song, the guy who arranged it, the song was written by Amakye Dede, right, by a very good friend of mine, Kwesi Obo. Okay. He did the arrangement at La Paz, and I was there when he started this. Normally what they do is, Amakye will bring his song, he will compose it himself, then Kwesi will program. And when I'm around, Kwesi will ask me, Charlie, help, without Amakye's knowledge. Then they will take it to Germany, to Bodo, or to Tiger's place, then they record. Amakye has been my friend for long. I knew him when he was playing with Abukusiampo Fwajei, when he was there, before he left for Nigeria. So Kwesi has been doing most of his arrangement for him. Amakye is a great songwriter. But a lot of things people don't know is, people feel but that's the problem with many Ghanaians. The song we just heard is a reggae song. Right. Normally, it's the beat that determines the sort of the genre. And many people is Amakye the Highlife on Kwano, so no. Most of his songs are Highlife. Iron Boy, a lot of them, they are reggae songs. So he's a versatile guy. The last job I did with him was Best Point Savings and Loans. Okay. That jingle. Yeah. Yeah. He brought the song and I rearranged it. Okay. For Best. We did it for Despite. Right. Yeah. So that was the last job I did with him. Yeah.
Awesome. What is Amakye like before a performance?
Amakye is a cool guy. He's a cool guy, just like Kojo Antwi and Co. You don't see him much outside. And he's very serious with his recording.
Of course. Serious.
I tell you. And if he's recording, yeah, and you go to mess around there, you tell him, Madam Fu, pay. That's why he's still Amakye Dede. And I always tell him that his name will never die today. Because he tackles the music thing as serious business, like someone working in the bank. You can't go and joke with Amakye Dede. No. You want him, this. Just like, another person. But a lot of people never understood him when he was doing such things. So Amakye is a great musician that I respect him a lot.
Awesome. Iron Boy, one of his most popular songs, undoubtedly. But then there's also pam 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 pam. I mean, I love it so much. That's actually a party starter for me. If I enter anywhere and that song drops, you have me on my feet. Irrespective of whatever, I'll be on my feet. Doc, now run us through that song, because I mean, I think the keys were very heavy, very dominant in that particular
That's
song.
so cool. Is it so cool? The map is so cool. So cool. Yeah. Talked about people liking or complimented Abin Waha with that one. You see,
there was a comparison between the two.
Between. In terms of the lyrics, the storyline, people wanted things that were already there. And then Amakye Dede emphasizes that women like what is, available. Yes, they don't want Debi. He's even the same person who did Debi. So people sing the two. So they ask the question: do you want Debi, or you want Abinwaha, or you want Emma Pesuku, and all those things? Yes. So he also inculcated these heavy instruments like. Nana was saying that he was versatile in his choice of musical. Highlife rhythms and all those things. So it told Amakye Dede's the way he was versatile, and then he used stories, as I said. Music characteristic of 90s had storyline, so he'll use a storyline to tell to give the message in the song, and people liked him for that thing.
Now, when he was with A.
If he's singing, he can create a lot of things on the stage. Right. This serious thing, it happened on the stage.
Okay.
Then became serious, you know. And when he's performing, he's not that danceable person.
Yeah.
So straight to business, and he would deliver. And his voice, you know, when he was singing this song for Apofo, I've forgotten the song he did with Apofo J, that made him very popular.
One of the very old ones.
Yeah, one of the old songs, you know. I've forgotten now, maybe I remember. You know, and I went to his house one day. He was quiet, sitting down there. That's there, you know. I got no, some song was coming. Then all of a sudden,
there was an impartation and you wanted to spoil it.
Charlie, you know, and I think that was one of his hit songs. I've forgotten all these songs. Then he was writing that song. So I'm actually a very creative person, you know. He's one person that I always say, the Highlife thing with him will never die. And he started from the scratch. And if you play band, like my brothers are doing, an album, play the bass or the keyboard, at least the knowledge will be there anyway to push you to arrange your.
Yeah, and then you can tell the various sounds from
that is it. That is it.
Did Amakye himself play any instruments?
No, I've never seen him play any instrument. I have never. I don't think so. Yeah.
All right, Nana, thank you so much, Doc. Thank you. This is still the Heritage Music Series on City TV. Now, our drinks are provided by Ramdes, and of course, the lovely candles are from Citronella Candles. Stay with us. We'll be right back with some more.
Ago.
This is the Heritage Music Series on City TV, and of course that one was from the legend, the maestro, the music sensei, the Rasta lover, Kojo Antwi himself. And they call this one a bombing commode. I mean, you can hear the song and go to sleep. It's either you're nodding or you're tapping or you're clapping. Of course, if you've got some, you shake some. You understand? Lovely stuff. But yeah, like I say, a bomb commode. So let's bring Nana and Chroma back into the conversation, because of course he has some history with Kojo Antwi as well. But Doc, smooth, soothing, melodious. I mean, the melancholy in there, everything so on point, typical of a music maestro, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very, very typical. I'll say that Kojo Antwi is the opposite of Lumba in terms of rhythms.
Yeah.
Okay, Lumba is the hard one, but whereas Kojo Antwi is the soft, cool person.
Yeah.
And so I think he's a reggae musician as well. He does more of more of reggae music, but of course using the Akan language as well. So I would say that Kojo Antwi, yes, Lumba, but they cut across in terms of rhythm and in terms of how strong the music is.
So what we just heard, the Commode, if reggae, then is leaning more towards lavish rock.
Lavish rock, exactly, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Now, I mean, talk to us about Kojo. I mean, we've seen him perform, we've heard him sing. We do love him, but really, what is the man like when it comes to the production of his music?
Kojo Antwi first. I knew Kojo Antwi when he was with JK's Boom Talent.
Okay.
In Accra here. Before he left and they formed Classic Candles. Classic Candles and Sappers were the top bands. Then I was playing bass for Black and Co.
Okay.
But our equipment weren't that good. So anytime we met Kojo Antwi, we had our equipment.
Right.
And they were tough. Kojo Antwi was on vocals, I Shall Be vocals, Eric Jr. guitar, Nano Sibio bass guitar, Solomon Beck percussion. They formed the Classic Candles. Before they split, they left the management and went to another management, and they called it Classic Vibes.
Okay.
He was then called Sweet Julius Antwi. And anytime they are performing, and you go to watch them performing, Kojo Antwi was that cool type. But when they mention Sweet Julius Labor Stage, the whole area.
Yeah.
He used to sing Steel Pulse,
Okay.
Shanta Summer Day, Shanta Summer Day, that type of songs.
Yeah.
And he was so great, but very cool. I remember we went to Tiptoe.
Okay.
I don't know whether
Circle, yeah.
Classic Candles were coming to play.
Yeah.
The show was about to start around 8 o'clock. 5 o'clock, the whole place was full.
Wow. Because they had heard there was a Sweet
Then,
Julius coming.
first time in Ghana that they've seen a band full of rastas.
Yeah, at home.
They are coming. Sweet Wine and Kojo Antwi.
Yeah.
So when he came out and made a hit, I told people that, Charlie, that's
There's no
high.
surprise here.
No.
No surprise.
He knows
here.
everything
Yeah.
about singing.
Yeah.
And luckily for him, he had a very nice guy, strong guy to work with, Kwame Eboa.
Oh, okay.
Kwame
Kwame
Eboa,
Eboa
I took
and the
him
Kings.
from Accra, gave him to a friend of mine in Taprade, and they formed a band.
Right.
That was, I think, early 80s. He's not a small boy.
Yeah. No, he looks smallish.
Yeah.
No, he looks smallish.
But
He's
that
not a
guy
small
knows
boy.
everything on keyboard.
I don't know how Kwame is going to take this, but yes.
Oh, no,
right.
Kwame, no, he calls me Poppy.
Right.
Because, we all helped him.
Exactly, yeah.
And Kojo Antwi,
He was actually a judge on our Keyboard Idol show.
yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it. No, it's like Greg Davis and co. He
Yeah,
arranges their
exactly,
songs for them.
yeah.
He's a
A
strong,
very fine musician.
yeah, that is
yeah.
it. So Kojo Antwi, I mean, what can you say about him? He knows it all.
Yeah.
He knows how to play the guitar. He knows how to play the keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is Kojo Antwi for you.
Yeah.
I mean, me, I call him a born musician,
Yeah.
but he doesn't talk much.
Right.
Cool. Then you come in,
He's always had it with him.
that is it.
Right.
And you people should have watched Kojo Antwi perform those days.
Yeah.
The whole floor, the whole
Yeah.
area. Then after singing, you see him going
Quietly. Yeah.
like he never did it.
Wow.
That's Kojo Antwi. Yeah.
Oh, that's the kind of guy he is. Now,
Yeah.
now we know. But one thing that strikes me around that era is that when they drop a song, it could take them years. Or when you do a project, a full album, it could take them years to drop another. But we're not seeing that type of duo. I mean, what does this say about the quality of music then as against now?
Kojo Antwi and co, those people are Amakye and co. Listen to their songs. You get an intro,
Yeah.
a chorus, verse, maybe middle age will come somewhere. Well arranged.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe this month you love it. I heard though. You listen to the song. Sound I heard the singer.
Okay.
But of late, from beginning
To
to the
end.
end, they've looped it.
Okay. All right.
So one instrument will run through. But another segment. So variety of arrangement. You see?
Right.
So you never get bored listening to such
Yeah.
songs. Unlike,
What we
I
are
think you
saying
understand me.
Yeah. Yeah, but Doug, I mean, I just want to take your take on that as well.
Yeah.
We know that the arrangement took a while. I mean, even the composition itself
Yeah,
and
the
putting
processes and
everything
everything.
together.
Yeah.
What does that say about the outputs, the total output itself of the projects that were released around that time?
Yeah, we are good to have guys like the Inchin band as instrumentalists now. But in those days, Amakye, Dede, and those eras, Kojo Antwi, the instrumentalists will have to spend time in the studio because we didn't have this kind of. Nowadays, you can play and then just punch in, clean it. When you make a mistake, even at the end of the song, you would have to start recording. So that kind of painstaking, they took their time to rehearse the songs, and as Nana is saying, they have to listen and listen. I even know some of them had studios in their rooms. So when they wake up in the morning, they listen to this section. Okay, let's leave it. Let's go to another section. Then tomorrow they come back and say, no, we have to rather link this one to this. So they really paid attention to details. And because, as I said, number one, when they go to the studio, there is nothing like you are now going to rehearse at the studio or no. You waste money and all those things. So you need to get your points very well. Studio record everything. That's why I'm saying we give thumbs up to these guys who have decided to learn the musical instrument on their own.
Chim to the world.
Yeah, we don't. How many bands do we? How many people do we have now as compared to those places? So would we say that the arrival of computer music came to kill the talents of musicians or not? Maybe, I don't know, but we need to look at that one again.
And
so
this time, every keyboard player has become an arranger.
Okay.
Every keyboard player.
Yeah.
And they want to arrange the song like the way they play their keyboard.
Oh, okay.
But there's some people who doesn't even know how to play an instrument, but they are arrangers.
Arrangers, yeah.
Will come. You stand by your keyboard. He'll play for you.
Yeah.
The guitar.
Okay.
That's the work of an
I like where
arranger.
this is going.
That is, you see,
We're actually recording this.
then the huntsman will come.
We have a song already.
Yeah. You see, simple. But now, I heard the song some time ago. And I heard it say Shatawale. Great song. Very great song. But the arrangement, he should have worked. I knew him when he was a small boy at Polygon.
Yeah.
I knew the father, all of them. Polygon near the Tuesday market there. Such people like this, they will need arrangers to help them. To hit the African market. Because I don't think any of them has gone beyond Ghana. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Some strides. I
don't know whether what I'm saying is
making some strides, and perhaps it's because the music itself is changing.
Yeah.
We're missing out on some elements of old.
That is it.
And now it's more of technology-driven music.
Yeah.
So,
and you know something? When Angelique Kidjo came to Ghana, I think for the first time or so, I was there at the National Theatre, and Angelique herself was sitting this guy, Shashamali, was with me.
Right.
You know, he was my junior in school.
Right.
So we're there, and I asked her about the Agolo thing. And you know what she told me? She said, look, you know the person who arranges my songs? My husband, the white man, who was arranger. Said after they recorded the song, the man asked him, don't you have anything that you used to play something when you were a kid you used to jog around with? I said, well, we used to do this thing called Agolo.
Okay.
Then he said, you know how we're going to start this song? We started Agolo, 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 Agolo. Simple word. Everyone who doesn't understand that word can sing it.
Exactly,
But Ghana, most of our songs, we do with lyrics power.
Yeah.
Very hard to hit international. Because the man who doesn't understand what you're saying. But our melodies are very weak.
Okay.
Like Agolo, Agolo.
Yeah.
Everybody can sing it. If you ask what's the meaning, hey, I don't know. Kana Bongo Man and Co. Mewe.
Freddie Mewe. All right. Yes. Nana, thank you so very much for your insights, the knowledge, the experience you've shared with us. I mean, we just can't have enough of you. It's always amazing. We get to learn so much when we get to talk to you. And we're so grateful to you. Thank you so much. Doc, we still have some more to serve the people. We're going to go straight to the band and do something from Tommy Wiredu. For the bodom.
Adinya Sawodo, Mabo, Kabi Bichur, the Wow 7, Sam Resto, Akademi, Kabi Bichur, Xiaomini, Bonsen Nabra, Kabi. I said, what you mean, man, Sonia? I bring me now soda. Now the panettone, or what's your cow, me, the edge, be a boo. Sandy and we do. For the poet, Sandy and we do. For the poet, Sandy and we do. For the poet, Sandy and we do. For the poet. And you'll be out in a day. You might dance in your ting way. Tin you mommy, dear, this way. Say, I would have to be one here. Mommy, I do. So what to make I know if you don't hear? Or baby, I tell me difference. The Jimmy want you, what do you do? I am a ramen pao. Who do you so move? Mrs. Adam, yes, I'm coming for the Sadly and we do for the poet. 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 Sadly and we do for the poet.
Right, for the bottom, Tommy Wiredu. Wonderful artist, beautiful music, and Doc. I mean, I did love him, and I pray that he rests in peace. But I mean, tell us about Tommy Wiredu and the style he also brought. Okay.
Which precedes the chorus. So you
Tell
realize
us about the middle eight.
You realize that he starts with a certain chord progression. And then he veers off the usual thing that you know, and then that's brief to introduce the chorus.
Okay.
And so it wasn't like the earlier music where there's an ostinato and then the music just rolls just with some 2-3 chords and then you are off. But this song also had some other chords. I'm sure that we can put this one also under classical highlife because of the usage of harmonic progressions that he used. It wasn't the usual ones that we need. So Tommy Wiredu's style also the bass also playing percussive instrument. You realize that the bass guitar was imitating the rhythm of the bass drum.
The kick itself.
Yes. So this was also a certain style that was developed around that time, where bass and kick were in partnership to produce that kind of hard song that dancers needed on the dance floor.
Right. So you get a sync between the kick and then the bass, and you're able to establish a harmony between the two. It's like one is following the other.
One is following the other.
Okay, and that's what Tom Wiredu employed in this particular song for the
That's right.
Beautiful. It made him stand out, right?
Yes.
Because it wasn't too profound or dominant around that time, was it?
Yes, it wasn't. It was a unique style that he employed so that he can also get a brand for himself. There may have been some other people who were, but he stood out with this kind of arrangements where he is not straightforward with the chordal progressions, but they all make sense. They come together to form something very uniquely Tommy Wiredu. And so anybody who listens to Tommy Wiredu songs will find traits of such things in them.
Let's zoom in more on the arrangement of this particular song for Odo. You notice that you don't have the typical dip and rise that you had in the previous songs of the previous years. How would you explain the uniqueness of this particular arrangement?
Yeah, as I said, he incorporated the something else in the middle.
Okay,
which
that's the mid-8.
The middle 8 section, or I'll call it pre-bridge or something. It could also have been a bridge. Usually the bridge is something that comes after you have sung verse and chorus, and you want a change of flavor. Then you do something else that is contrary to what you have already done. But in this case, Tommy Wiredu does that before the chorus. So we call it pre-bridge or middle 8 sections that he introduced in his song. And that gave it a wonderful arrangement. You don't get tired listening to such arrangements. If you compare it to current songs, some of them, when you take away the lyrics and just listen to rhythms or the beats, it's just recurring like that. There is nothing to expect once you start it. But for Tommy Wiredu, you have to listen to the end because there are surprises in terms of.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so very much, Doc. But I'm sure you must be updating your playlist, having watched all the previous episodes we've shown you over the evolution of Akan music on the Heritage Music Series. Thank you so very much, Dr. Amakye of the University of Ghana. Big thank you to the Inchin Band, and of course, special thanks to Nanan Kroma, who has shared his experience, his time, his relationship with some of these wonderful artists and their bands, and of course their times performing together. This has been another wonderful episode of the Heritage Music Series as part of our Heritage Month celebration here on City TV. My name is Nana Tufo Boateng. We'll see you again.
Ago.
Ghana, the land of vast minerals and rich natural resources. Ghana, the country with a fine blend of heterogeneous cultural expressions worth celebrating. The month of March is the Heritage Month on City, and we will be celebrating it in grand style with the theme Make It Ghana. This is the season of all things Ghanaian, and City TV and City FM will be marking it with a month-long celebration of our heritage with a myriad of exciting activities just for you. We will be bringing you the Heritage Month on-air series with a focus on stories that reflect the diversified culture of our people, food, places, and music from the 1st to the 31st of March. Watch out for the Heritage Caravan Diaries and Moments as we embark on a journey full of fun, education, information, wonderful memories, and great bonding moments with the Heritage Caravan from the 4th to the 11th of March. To crown the Heritage Month celebration, we will treat ourselves to delectable, authentic Ghanaian cuisine from the northern, middle, and southern zones of the country that reflect our true cultural diversity with a Back to Your Village food bazaar from the 25th to the 26th of March 2023. Remember to make it Ghana in this season of the Heritage Month and beyond. The Heritage Month on City is powered by City TV in partnership with the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, National Film Authority, and Ghana Tourism Authority with support from City FM, and it is sponsored by the National Lotteries of